behalf of President Choi and members of the Rotary Club of Darjeeling, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Shrikanta Roy Chaudhary, our guest speaker for the day, heads of institutions, distinguished guests, many of whom were friends and acquaintances of late Rotarian DIPANKAR BASU, and most importantly, young students and Rotarians and members of the Inner Wheel Club. It is my personal belief that a society that neither understands, nor knows, nor respects its past is doomed to wallow in mediocrity and ignorance and is primed to fail. It is only when we know, understand, and respect the past that we can understand and appreciate the present. Today we are gathered here to remember and to pay tribute to our past through a talk on the cultures of Darjeeling as heritage, ambivalence, dilemma, and what to do about it. And also to remember with great fondness another figure from our more recent past, the late Rotarian DIPANKAR BASU. While Dr. Roy Chaudhary will talk at length about Darjeeling's heritage, I would like to take this opportunity and crave your indulgence to speak a little bit about our dear friend and teacher. DIPANKAR was a multifaceted person, and it is likely that no matter what I say about him, those who knew him well will always be a little disappointed because I may not have touched an aspect of his life that they might be more familiar with. This event, the second in a series of annual public lectures, has been thought of and designed to perpetuate the memory of an outstanding Rotarian, a dedicated teacher, a conscientious administrator, an influential force who touched and changed the lives of generations of young men and women in our town, and to celebrate his life. His contribution to our small community of Darjeeling should not and must not be forgotten. As I said, this lecture series was primarily designed to achieve two objectives. One was to perpetuate the memory of a person who contributed so much in such short time to our community. And the second was to inculcate a spirit of intellectual curiosity among our student community. However, given the difficulties that we've had to overcome in arranging for only the second in the series of lectures, a certain skepticism has entered our minds about the continuance of this program. Public memory, it is said, is very short. And therefore, I think it is imperative, it remains imperative, for us to ensure that public gratefulness to a man who did so much for the academic, social, and cultural life of this town is not surrendered to the petty claims of life. And so we are determined to carry out this lecture series in the coming years, though it has been suggested very wisely, I must say, that we need to tweak our approach to this program, if ever so gently. This suggestion has been well taken note of by the committee that arranges this lecture series, and from next year we hope that we will have a slightly different format for this lecture. But the lecture series to remember DIPANKAR and to stoke the curiosity of young minds will definitely continue. DIPANKAR arrived in Darjeeling in September 1968 to join the Department of Political Science in Darjeeling Government College. And he remained till the date of his retirement a dedicated mentor to his students, dedicated beyond measure. He was strict, tolerated no nonsense, but always fair to his students, and the students loved him for this. His colleagues always admired his commitment. And while he was there at the Darjeeling Government College, he was invited to start Darjeeling's first ever coaching center for the civil service examination. His sincere dedication in running that center, along with a wonderful team of teachers from the Darjeeling Government College, produced several successful administrators. Later, when the coaching center was shifted out of the college premises, he convinced the powers that be that they must continue the coaching center, now called CSAT, first at the Psychiatry Bhavan in Kakjoda, and then later at the Red Cross building, where students are, to this day, trained for various competitive examinations, and where one of the best reference libraries for such examinations in this town is housed even today. Dipankar also served as the first local head of the Indira Gandhi National Open University that was established at the Government College. An upright and honest man to the core of his soul, he carried out all his responsibilities with great meticulousness and with unmatched, passionate drive. Dipankar's activities were not restricted to the college campus alone. He actively involved himself and supported the activities of numerous organizations like ORCID, which used to conduct and host the inter-college one-act play competition, the GDA, the NNHB Hall. He was also a life member of the Red Cross and the Darjeeling District Sports Association and was an integral member of the organizing team of the Brigade of Gorkhas Gold Cup tournament for several years. A great sports enthusiast, not many people will know that till he died, he remained a card-carrying member of East Bengal Club and the Cricket Association of Bengal. A soft-spoken man, he was a gem of a human being who had great sympathetic understanding of the local people and our culture. It must be said he joined Rotary with great reluctance. But once Rotary and the significance of Rotary's worldwide social service sank into him, he dedicated his entire being to becoming one of the outstanding Rotarians, not just of the Rotary Club of Darjeeling, but of the entire Rotary district comprising Bengal, Sikkim, and all the northeastern states. His popularity amongst Rotarians of this district had to be seen to be believed. He enjoyed offering his services, whether it was to cook at special meetings or travel great distances all by himself to attend Rotary seminars and conferences, or to set up a health camp in the remote corners of our geographical district. Here was a man, well-informed, with varied interests, always in search of knowledge and an opportunity to serve, especially the student community. He was a man committed to the welfare of the people of Darjeeling, and so it is that our club has resolved to pay tribute to this amazing Rotarian by organizing the DIPANKAR BASU Memorial Lecture. In the words of the great bard, here was a man, whence comes such another. And this afternoon we are privileged to have in our midst Miss Jayashree Pradhan. Jayashree was in class 5 when Dipankar asked her to write an essay on what her ambition was, what she wanted to achieve. Many of us teachers do ask our students to once in a while write something, but Dipankar was a man whose being, as I said, was the interest, and his love for his students under his care was beyond measure. He kept inspiring and motivating and working on Jayashree. And this afternoon, in our midst, we have Jayashree Pradhan, who, as you all would have heard by now, ranked 53rd in the UPSC examinations of 2024. I now invite Jayashree to come forward and say a few words about Dipankar. Jayashree.